The Steelers at the Colts. We got some people in the chat talking about Anthony Richardson and the Colts, so this is a good transition into this game. You got the Steelers playing 3-0. What is your matchup that matters here for this one? It's in Indy, by the way. What do you got here?
It is in Indy, and it's not Anthony Richardson. Sorry guys, but it's Jonathan Taylor because he had a field day last week against the Chicago Bears. And what can he do against this Pittsburgh run defense, which is obviously historically good, and has been, I should say. But this, like, Jonathan Taylor, when he does well, the whole offense, it kind of opens it up a little bit more. You don't feel like Anthony Richardson has to play the hero ball, even if he feels like it sometimes. But
You
he's
know,
got, I know, Jonathan Taylor has 8 rushes gaining 10 plus yards. He's got 16 rushes gaining a first down, which is tied for third in the league. And he rushed for 110. He rushed for over 100 yards versus both Chicago and Green Bay before that. So he seems to kind of be back to the Jonathan Taylor that we were expecting him to be as of a couple of years ago. And if this keeps up, I mean, that's going to insulate the Colts offense in particular from some of these turnovers that Anthony Richardson is inevitably prone to. Stuff like that. If you can keep the ball on the ground or at least get it into Jonathan Taylor's hands, good things happen. So, that against this Pittsburgh run defense, again, which is very, very good because Pittsburgh defense is just very, very good.
yeah.
How effective is he going to be able to be? Because he was against the Chicago Bears defense, which is also very, very good this year.
I'm going to expand upon that with the Pittsburgh run defense part of it. If you have Sunday Ticket, or if you have the ability to have whatever your team is on one side of the TV and then one other game on the other side, make it Colts versus Steelers. And the reason why is because this is the best defensive line in the NFL versus the best offensive line in the NFL. Steelers defensive line. So I'm counting just the defensive linemen, the defensive tackles and edge rushers. 87.4 pass rush grade as a defensive line. That is first in the NFL. 75.3 run defense grade, which is second in the NFL. So first and second in pass rushing and run defense. Colts offensive line on the other side. 87.9 pass blocking grade, first in the NFL. 84.9 run blocking grade, second in the NFL. So run blocking, pass blocking, 1 and 2 there. Like I said, this is the best offensive line going up against the best defensive line in the NFL. You got star power, you got veterans, you got guys who are coming on in really great situations. Nick Herbig was unblockable, it felt like last week against the Chargers backup offensive tackles. And it's just, they're going to put their guys in advantageous situations at all times. Keanu Benton's playing great. Cam Hayward's playing unbelievable for a guy who's 35 years old. TJ Watt is doing what he's doing, looking like a defensive player of the year candidate. And then you've got the guys on the offensive side of things for the Colts who are really blocking well up front for that unit. So that is the matchup that matters. It is big on big, best on best at the top of what the NFL can offer. And so we have an absolute treat in the trenches with this game. And whoever plays better, that to me is going to be what allows one of these teams to become victorious, because this is how both of these teams are fully constructed. It is through these parts of the trenches, and it's exactly how they want to win football games. So I can't wait to watch it. Who is your plus factor in this one?
We love that. My plus factor is Justin Fields, in fact, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, given the fact that I just talked about how Anthony Richardson, hasn't really, you haven't coached the home run ball out of him. You haven't coached kind of the wanting to play hero on every play. And that was the knock against Justin Fields in Chicago, where he would scramble around. He would try to make throws. They weren't always accurate. It wasn't always working. He was trying to make something happen behind, again, a line that was not good and all this other stuff. And now he's very well protected by the Steelers, and he isn't being asked to do too much, and it's working out for him. On intermediate throws of 10 to 19 yards, 6 of 11, 136 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. So this is where Justin Fields is kind of his bread and butter in Pittsburgh under Arthur Smith, and it's working. He's kind of reining it back in from what we saw in Chicago. He's tied for 8th in passing grade, 78.4 PFF grade. So it's working really well. Can you unlock a little bit more from Justin Fields, or is this just kind of where you're going to need to live? That's kind of the question that I still have. And can you kind of introduce those long balls? I mean, Justin Fields has a cannon of an arm. Can you introduce that still back into his game without sacrificing the consistency that you have now found through the first few weeks of the season?
My plus factor in this one is basically my plus factor in every single Colts game. It's Anthony Richardson, because which which area of Anthony Richardson, which is a high, is it a low, which game of Anthony Richardson are we going to get? Because right now, 59.7% adjusted completion percentage of the 35 quarterbacks that qualify for a minimum number of snaps. He is 35th in the NFL at adjusted completion percentage. He just does not complete the football at a high enough rate to be consistent every single week to give you a chance. Some weeks he'll look great. Some weeks he'll be the reason you lose. Which Anthony Richardson do we get here? Because if he is playing well and if he is completing the ball at a higher clip, this is a team that has the potential to be really, really good, especially for how good they are in the offensive trenches and defensive trenches when they're fully healthy. I know they're not fully healthy. I know DeForest Buckner is hurt, but he has to be the plus factor because he is just one of the biggest X factors that we have and difference makers that we have in this league. He's got to complete the football, and he simply put has not done well enough in that category yet this year, even with the good plays that we love to ooh and ah at.